Let's see if we can. There we go. Thunder only happens when it's raining. The players only love you when they're playing. Women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes, you'll surely know. Oh yeah, now it's raining. I gotta go in. So much for an outdoor video with a lightning storm. But anyways, we're gonna talk about some issues. So I strongly encourage you to keep the children off of this. Ooh, look at that. Maybe we can go out front. I want to talk about issues, men and women issues, in an age of anything goes. In an age where there's no restrictions, no restraints. You want to sleep with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, you're allowed to do it today. Does it work? Is it better? Let's talk about it. See if we can get some lightning out here. I love lightning, as long as it's not right in the yard. And I've had that too. One thing about Georgia, the thunderstorms are more intense than what I saw in Colorado, and I thought Colorado was the big bam. It's a trip. I should have got on earlier. It was really rumbling a bit ago. There we go. And here we go again. You want your freedom. Let's get that thunder in there. When I was a kid, I always thought that was God talking. Or that he was bowling and he just had a strike. Rolled that ball in heaven and knocked out all the pins. There we go. Roll that beautiful lightning footage. Here comes the salt train. White noises. These are the kind of noises you can sleep by. The train's distant enough that it sounds pleasant. So you get another lightning blast. There we go. That was a good one. And a car is coming down a lonely, dark street in Augusta. Make that a pickup truck. When the thunder's distant, it's comforting. When it's so loud in your yard you can't hear yourself think, then it's scary. Even as a Christian, I fear God. When that thunder and lightning is dancing and you see the flash and hear the bam that quick, just reminds me of how utterly small we are. I don't play with that stuff. People that play with crocodiles and swim with sharks, they're just dumb. God is bigger than me, and I'm just fine with that. Don't play with stuff you shouldn't play with. Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up higher and higher, and he will lift you up. Humility's a hard one today, isn't it? In America, we're not taught to be humble. We're taught to come back, sass back, stand up for our rights. Yeah. Arizona had the most beautiful forked lightning I'd ever seen. See a thunderstorm come in and you see that sheet lightning. Well, you got the sheet lightning here, but the forked lightning. Wow, it's just fascinating. It's too bad I didn't have something in my yard that was powerful enough to take a direct hit and store that energy. I'd have no electric bills for the rest of my life, one strike. One bolt is enough to power the city of Chicago for like how long? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool stuff. And here we go again, you say you want your freedom. Are you having trouble sleeping? Listen to the gentle sound of the thunder and the smattering of the raindrops hitting the stones. Rest your soul. It's calming. Release your grip on all your anxieties. Lay your head on your pillow. Don't worry about your bills, your boss, that coworker, that idiot that's cut you off in traffic, or that stupid music that's waking you up at all hours of the night. Enjoy the sound of the rain. All right. The thunder's moving distant. Distant thunder. Let's go in. Let's talk about some subject. Let's get down into the nuts and bolts of the three-letter word, sex. I'm a very, very, very sensual man. People see the way I dress, they think, Michael's gay. Not at all. We're going to talk about it. I am a contradiction, and I've always been a contradiction. Most people, when they get to know me, they just don't believe the depth of what is within. I still marvel at what's in me. And the Bible says the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I mean, look at my eclecticism. African-American art on my walls. I did this. I trimmed out the window. I did all this. This reminds me of a deck chair, kind of. I pulled that out of a dumpster at a Denver school, stuck it behind my driver's seat. But why are they throwing this stuff away? Most of the furniture in my house is school furniture. This dining room table is school furniture. They were throwing it out. Every one of these oak chairs were made in Georgia. Every one of them. A couple scratches. I found a set of 4 in the dumpster. That's not veneer. That's solid oak. Free. What would you pay for these? Solid oak. What would you pay for these chairs? That was a school chair. Solid hardwood. Unbelievable. Dumpster diving is one of the best sports in the world. It really is. I want to talk about Reality 101. I think everybody, if they're honest, has a sex drive. I do. I'm 60 years old. I ain't dead yet. I don't need Viagra. I need Down Boy. That's what I need, and they don't have it. They said in the military they used to give people saltpeter to keep them from getting an erection. And I've noticed something about us people. We can talk till the cows come home about sexual purity, and we can talk about all that. I don't know anybody who truly is sexually pure. I think it's a unicorn. I think when Jesus said to us, you've heard it was said, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I tell you, if a man looks at a woman with lust, he's already committed adultery. For real? I mean, think about that. And it says a man, it doesn't say a woman, so that means a woman can look at a man with lust and that's not the same? No, I think that the imperative there is that every one of us, I mean, I remember growing up and the people, yes, I got my bare naked granola. People are fascinating. I know women that claim to be happily married and, the 70s, women were like, oh, I would so love to experience Robert Redford and Clint Eastwood. And, as a kid, I'm laughing at that. I'm like, a man? Ew. I'm a guy, okay? And I'm going to be honest in what I say. I have tried quite a few things in my life. I've been with a couple ladyboys. I've been with a lot of women. What is going on with this? There we go. A lot of women. I'd have to sit down. I actually started to write it down one day. Do I still have a copy of that? Did I keep that? What is, oh my gosh, all these journals in here. These are not journals you guys want me to read online. Some of these are race E. Thursday, July 25th, 2013, 7:32 a.m. at Allens Park, Colorado, with a 35-passenger 1990 Bluebird International bus for Colorado International School, here to pick up a group to take to USGS in Golden and Colorado School of Mines and a Chinese art museum. Kristen called yesterday to tell me about this, as she had been working part-time for the school doing grounds and field trips. Did not sleep well last night. My ex called at 10:15 p.m. I answered defensively, thinking she was going to blast me for not doing community service. I called Stephen, my son's probation officer, and asked if service could be doing yard work for Jim and Ann under me. He said no, because it needs to be a nonprofit. So he ran away last night. My ex thought she heard Mom twice in her room, then heard the slider close, went downstairs, and he was gone. Shortly before that, a heavy wind came up. I feared the cottonwood that was struck by lightning would come down a week ago. A bolt hit high up on a large limb, blowing out a strip of bark and wood 15 feet long. 2.5 inches of rain fell that day and nearly flooded the yard. I was at Sharon's and it rained heavy there as well. 10:22 a.m. in Golden at the Colorado School of Mines. 3 Japanese ladies on the bus, and the group seems nice. Kevin texted me, neighbor next to Jim and Ann, saying, wondering when you were going to get a muffler for that truck. You woke me up. Called and left a message telling him there's a huge difference between a barking dog for 15 to 45 minutes and me starting my truck for 60 seconds once and leaving. I told Ann, she did say he seems kind of neurotic and forgets about all the noise he made years ago with the diesel pickup and the Bobcat loading on the trailer and all the noise he made. Jim said Kevin acts like a little girl. He lives alone, and I have noticed it is not good for men to live alone. Men get weird. Diary excerpt from 2013. Is that right? 2013. Man, does that seem long ago? Sunday, September 9th, 2012, 8:23 a.m. At church, walked 2.4 miles at Crown Hill, walked 6 the other day. Walking is good. Sharon and I spent the day together yesterday making love and doing it so 3 times. It was nice. However, Friday she dropped a bomb by telling me she has not filed and is reluctant to divorce her husband. I handed her the house key and left, was angry, hurt. She's so up and down, so affected by her fears, folks, and her jerk children, and jerks they are. Rude, don't speak clearly, argue sometimes. Sharon asks them to do something. They're selfish as all get out. I was involved with this woman. She'd hired me for landscaping. And in the process of me working for her, she had a husband who was an attorney of all things. But she said he would go to the office and he'd bill for 2 hours and do his online BS. He had a liberal site that I won't mention. And she said, I'm filing divorce. And she ousted him out of the house. So I reasoned in my heart, well, she's filing divorce. I'll go out with her. The moral of that story is I will not involve with a woman unless the divorce is final. You know, I've done a lot of wrong things. Trying to find me. Trying to find me. Trying to find me. I had curiosities flow through my veins as a Christian. Thursday, April 12th, 2012, 9:23 p.m., Lakewood, Colorado. Just got done chatting via video call with Myra, seeing her face and the view off the 59th floor over the sea in Hong Kong. My body sore worked for George Mack today, removed an entire apple tree, down some large limbs on others that had died. Jim was kind to let me use his chainsaw, gas, and tools. Unfortunately, the saw would quit. Could not start it. Gas cap had a pinhole in it and leaked, wasting gas, and the primer button cracked and leaked fuel also. Cut and broke down the one tree in its entirety and headed to Rooney Road Recycling to dump in their brush pile. $13 to dump it. Had called Ectors to ask a tree expert whether George's apple tree could be spared. No, she told me, too much rot and no bark to go round. Caught a total of 6 squirrels since yesterday. They're just running into the traps. A lady responded to my bogus Craigslist ad. I used some guy's pic off the internet and said I am an attorney, rich, house, great car, etc. Linnea wrote back, I felt I should write her and tell her it was a hoax experiment. I could not believe it. She wrote back and thanked me. Wow, I don't even remember that. It's amazing when you write the stuff down. It's like, when did this happen? Woo! Anyways, we as a Christian, there's a misconception in a secular society. He, she calls himself a Christian. Did you hear what came out of their mouth? Did you know that Christians struggle with the same temptations that the world does? Hate to break it to you. You think when we get saved, we just have this angelic, ah? We don't. Why? Because the reality is we're human. Are we human? Are we able? Love that song by the Killers. Why did God give me a voracious sexual appetite? I mean, off the chain. I mean, sometimes in a day, I can relieve myself 7 times or more. And the turnaround on me is huge. Most guys, I've had mostly women friends all my life, and they said, my boyfriend, my husband, he just rolls over after he's done, and I didn't get anything out of it. Oh no, me, I like foreplay, touching, licking, caressing, studying, tracing. I love all that. I think the problem with most women in American society, why they're so nasty, is they've never been properly loved. And they think that loving is buying them crap and spoiling them. Spoiling a woman is like spoiling a child. You keep them as children and they never grow up. But what about when I was riding a bus a couple years ago and the driver told me that this lady at the school had a very bad relationship with a man? She decided to try a woman. Good looking white girl. She come up to the bus to receive the students and she starts crying. I don't know what happened, but she broke up with me. She wouldn't even speak to me. She never said hi. You know, the women that are anti-male. And I'm laughing inside. Oh, women are so bad. So you ran in the arms of a woman and she used you and said, pa-ching, bye. I listened to a woman, a Native American woman. She got on my nerves in that dang sauna. She said, women don't want to date me. I'm currently unemployed right now. I said, well, maybe you know how us men feel. What's that supposed to mean? I said, I'm employed. They don't want to date me. Well, why would anybody date men? I said, why would anybody date women? Because we're better. I said, is that why they're all not responding to you? Even lesbian women want women that are making money. You think they're going to be so into you, they're just going to let you lay around in the bed and do what you want all day? Does lesbian or gay relationship work any better than heterosexual? Yes or no? I'll give you 2 seconds. Ding, time's up. Nope. Nope. Yeah, there's nothing in here except all the songs I wrote down that I like. What is it about all these Andrews? Sharon had a husband named Andrew. My stalker's name is Andrew. Sharon brought me lunch yesterday, which I devoured. Salmon with garlic and ginger, rice with beans, and apple slices. So good. She and I sat in the truck. The sun was warm. She offered me a massage. I took off my shirt, let her soothe me, then laid back on her, and it was nice. The wind was blowing hard and the clouds came. Temps plummeted. I put my shirt and sweater on, walked her to the break room to meet Mia, then at 8th and Federal to catch the 31. She caught it, and by the time I got back to the lounge, got a text saying she already caught the number 3. She used to bring me lunch at Denver schools. She walked into that break room, and every one of those clowns in there stared like, whoa. You know, people have a view of me that's never accurate. You know, the Hispanic women and some of the people looked at me with the thick glasses and they see Sharon, and she was a good looking Asian woman and she dressed very nice. And she walked in there, brought me lunch, and they're all like, what in the heck? Yeah, she's prettier than all of you in this room. That's right. Y'all have this image of me. I'm prettier than all the women in this room. I wrote that on my Facebook. These women think they're all out in a stick at Denver School's driver lounge. I'm better looking than all of them, naked and with clothes, than they are. Even one of the women wrote on my Facebook page and laughed. Tell me I'm wrong. So as Charlie Kirk said, prove me wrong. You ever been to transportation? Where did this entitlement come from? It's not just with the high society, cosmopolitan runway models. It's with little Lotta. I've noticed something today. The devil is a liar. And the people that have the highest ego should be humbled. What do you do as a Christian? I move out here, there's no pretty Asian women. There's no pretty white women coming after me. There's no black pretty women coming after me. Augusta is where the bus driver slammed the door open. Everybody off, end the line. Just don't go any further. No, this is it. I lay over and continue back. Got a route to run, let's go. Wow. You stand and look at everybody. So this is Augusta, huh? And a black woman says, yep. Welcome to Disgusta, Georgia. The guy in the shipping said, did you know that we are the #1 place in the southeast states for probation? He said it used to be said, go to Augusta on vacation and leave under probation. I started laughing. I said, you're crapping. He goes, no, I'm not. I didn't dare ask him, well, what group of people is that? We all know. I don't have a Sharon. And I liked Sharon, minus the kids and all the crap. Problem was, she wasn't a Christian, she was a Democrat. Mike, if she came into your life, the kids are grown and she was divorced. Yep, I would. Sharon and I had a very interesting relationship. But I also know she used me. I know that. But she fed me. She loved on me. It is crazy. I haven't dated in 8 years. The last woman I dated was African American in Denver. She was very beautiful. Without a doubt, beautiful. She was slender. She was a very pretty African woman. She had awesome hygiene. She didn't smell. Took care of herself. Moody as all get out. Every day. I've always attracted moody. Sharon was the only upbeat. I called her my sunflower. She goes, oh my gosh, that's my favorite flower. I said, you just got the face that radiates happiness. Anne did not like her. The couple I took care of the house for, she did not like her. I said, what do you got against her? She's always been polite. She liked Mia the Filipina. Mia was a user. And I'm going to say something loud and clear. As much as I love Filipino culture, a lot of the ladies over there ladder up. I saw that when I was in Hong Kong. They're opportunists. I think Filipino women are beautiful, but they will use people as stepping stones to get where they want to go. A lot of them will use people to get that visa and get over here. Not just them. Ukraine women are #1 for the biggest scammers. The biggest scammers. And Ukraine women, they're very beautiful. I've never even bothered to talk to Ukraine women. They're scammers. When I realized the relationship with the woman in Hong Kong had exploded, I didn't care about morals anymore. Chinese crossdresser who pulled it off well seduced me. Ironically, he never did take this stuff off. And to give you some backdrop, I dated a Chinese woman a year older than me, San Moi. We went on a date one day. She took a day off just to be with me. She'd say in Chinese, the word for tomorrow, Gun Lei Hoi Michael, and I'm trying to understand what is Gun Lei Hoi. I will be with you. A rainy, drizzly day. She grabbed my arm and yanked me into a congee restaurant as soon as she got off the ferry. I'd never had that. That stuff warms you from the soles of your feet to the top of your head. I went in the power of that food all day. That was the best dang stuff I ever had. I took her on the double-decker bus and we're holding on for dear life. She was getting mad. We're holding the grab handles at the top of the seat, and that bus is careening around the curves. The Chinese drive like they failed the driving test in Canada and the US at least 8 times. She looked at me. We go around a curve. She fell into me. I was on the outside seat holding the rail. She fell into me and I got her. Hi-ya! Wow! And she pointed down below and I said, they're no good here, man. They don't know how to drive. And I'm laughing. We get off at Victoria Peak. I take her into a store. Curio shop for tourists. She wasn't like what you see here. She'd pick out a tiny coin purse that'd say Hong Kong. And she smiled. I said, that's it? She wanted something to remember me by. We left the store and walked the trail under the jungle canopy, the rain not even touching us. It was so thick. Nobody was on the trail. She and I had that trail. I mean, it's loaded with people on. We had walked quite a ways. I said, Moi, I have to go potty. Hold on. I go walk and I cut into some growth. She follow me. Sneak up behind me. I'm draining my main vein and she look over my shoulder. Hi-ya. And she's reacting to that. I started laughing. Asian men are small. I've been told that all my life. She's looking at me as an American and looking at my, you know what? Oh, wow. We had a good time. We go back to my place, and I made love to her. I lost it. Moi was the most fascinating, intriguing woman I've ever dated in my entire life because we couldn't speak each other's language. And I learned something that I will never forget. I didn't have to. The language of love is easily translatable. Contrast that to all the games and all the undercurrents and all the airs that go on with dating in the United States. I thought about Moi. I thought, I wonder how she's doing in her miserable, boring life, working 7 days a week at Chuck Yen Seafood, going back to, yes, a husband she can't stand. Everybody see the old black and white or the movie Roman Holiday? Well, that's what that was. I did not know she was married. She didn't have a ring. That would come out later when I left Hong Kong. And her and Mouse rode the bus back to Hong Kong from the airport. I left Hong Kong for the last time March 5th, 2012. And then let me tell you, I'm renting in the other half of the duplex from the part I rented when I was married with my wife and son. Jim had got it ready. It was all cleaned up. And in 3 weeks, a woman would be taking it. And he says, you can stay in there for now. I called him when I was going through Wyoming. I said, hey, I'm moving down to Denver. Can I stay with you guys a couple days so I find a place to rent? And they said yes, and I wasn't there 24 hours. And Ann came up and said, you're welcome to stay here rent-free if you're willing to help. I know you'll be finding a job, but can you help us with the property? I said, yeah, I'll do that. And I did it 7 years, and that's why I was able to save and buy a house. And I had ups and downs with that. I grew to love Jim. He was an eccentric, different man, but he was a brother in Christ. Ann was tough. She was a tough woman. She nagged at him. And when he died, she jumped all over me for nothing. The daughter and the sons got together and said, if you drive Michael out of this house, you're going into a home. Michael has done us a favor because he's here to allow you your independent living, and he has been respectful of all of the family. And if you drive him out and you keep picking at him, and she'd tone it down for a while and she'd strike up the band. Living with an 80-something-year-old woman is no picnic. And I didn't bring my lovers into the house and do stuff. None of that. And as a Christian, I have not been morally upright. You know, America, we're trained and conditioned. Hollywood teaches us. Other Christians teach us. We have a very casual view of sex. If a woman wants to take her clothes off, I'm going to be like, okay, she gave me permission. I'm done. And yet God calls us to holiness. We're the temple of the Holy Spirit. And the Word of God says sexual immorality is not okay. A troll came rolling into the room last night from 11 years. The stale BO smell of Andrew still permeating my channel. He's a gay man. He can't get a girlfriend. Nobody wants to date him. And he has an obsession with me. I'm old enough to be his father. It's gross. And now I finally, after years, understand how women feel when men will not take no for an answer. I get you, ladies. It's creepy as you know what. When I started dressing this way, I started to begin to understand how women feel. I had 2 different cats pull up in the yard. Both of them were a sight. Not handsome men. One had all his teeth missing, reeked. The other one was a white guy with a red beard. And I'm like, do these guys really think I'm going to get naked with them? And then it dawned on me, now do you know how women feel? A guy like that comes on to a pretty woman and she's going, ugh. I'm a guy and I'm going, ugh. Even if I was gay, no. And the box mentality of Americans. By box mentality, label it, put it on a shelf. We do that, don't we? We stigmatize. Oh, he's a nerd. Nerd section. He's a loser. Loser shelf. Oh, Mike, he's just weird. He's strange. Strange. Have you ever looked at Jim Morrison? A drug addict. He truly was the definition of strange. He had his shirt off on one of his album covers. And yet, his music was phenomenal. He was a disturbed, troubled soul because he didn't know God. And yet his music was incredible. It's too bad he didn't know God. Steve Taylor does a song called Jim Morrison's Grave. Am I strange? Contrasted to what is defined as normal? Absolutely. But I'm good with that. I'm good with creating my own style. You know how many women messaged me and said, Mike, how did you put that necklace on? I love it when I can do something that just works and people are like, that's cool. I like to be innovative. I like to be creative, spontaneous, intense, passionate. I struggle today. I'm not out there getting my fill like I did in years past. Some skirting around the edges with women coming to the house and without me even saying or doing it, pulling up their shirt. I'm amazed at the diversity of breasts, the different sizes of areolas. I used to joke with Sharon, you showing me them Hershey kisses again? She'd laugh and put them right in my face. She was cute. And I, as a man, have come to realize Jesus' Sermon on the Mount is not something we are to live by. Robert Schuller, who was another clown, so-called preacher of the Crystal Cathedral, the hour of power, another millionaire scammeister, and he had the be happy attitudes. Well, you're definitely not poor in spirit, Mr. Schuller. And Robert Schuller goes deep. There's some spider webbing that you might want to look into. Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking, the guy that started Alcoholics Anonymous. You got to read some of the stuff, the occult connections and the devil. And, you know, Power of Positive Thinking is taking place over Scripture. Consider it pure joy when you face diverse, trials and all that. I'm sorry, it's not human nature for me to say, wow, great, my pipes just exploded in my house. Thanks, God. Nice. I lost my job today. Thank you, Lord. Somebody was rude to me all day at work yesterday. Wasn't that fun? Thanks, God. Who does that? A sadist? And yet, if we look back, he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. Even me as a Christian, most of my sinning was done after I got saved because I tried to live so rigid. God is not pleased with our sin. But let me ask the question. So say I was to embrace the gay lifestyle, which I could not. Men, I don't care what a man does, men are made different than a woman. They are not and cannot be alone. People see my channel, look at this, I'm getting a belly at 60, but that's pretty good. I went this long without it. I'm blessed. Yes, I'm eating this, and I've got people buying it at the store now. That's awesome. Company needs to give me a couple free cases of this for promoting them free. I've experienced a steamy passion of things most people only dream about. The eye never has enough of seeing. I marvel at beauty. I like to look at beauty in women every day on the internet. The diversity of beauty is fascinating to me. And it's okay to admit that to God. It's okay to say, God, I don't think I can bed down. I haven't been able to bed down with one woman for life. People change. I would have been very comfortable being a Solomon. Women then were not like they are today. They weren't fighting and arguing and nagging at their husband. He had 700 wives and 300 concubines. I don't want 700 wives. But in my flesh, it'd be nice. I think I'll sleep with Erica tonight. She's looking really good. And tomorrow is Joanne. And the next day it's Nefertiti. It's in us. Look at the men in the Old Testament. Several of them had several other wives. There's African tribes that allow a man to have as many wives as he wants. Go ahead. It would never work in America. It's illegal. God doesn't authorize that. But let me tell you what we've done. The Old Testament reads like an Indiana Jones story. When you think about it. They're trying to get the ark back from the Philistines. The Philistines keep putting it in their Dagon temple. And every day they come in the temple and Dagon statues bowed prostrate in front of it. The arms broke off and bad things keep happening. And the Philistines said, man, get this thing out of here. And you read about the men and their conquests, and you look at Sarah. Here, sleep with my handmaid, honey. Great idea. I guarantee you, Abraham's a man, I'm sure he enjoyed Hagar. I'm sure Hagar enjoyed him. A maid, a loveless woman. She got to get lost in a night of passion. Did God judge her for that? Not once. Did God still care about her and Ishmael? Yep. God told Hosea to marry a prostitute. Wait a minute. Thought a woman was caught in adultery, she was to be stoned. You're telling him to go marry one? Because God used Hosea as a symbol of what Israel was doing. You go whoring after other gods. I'm going to say a bold statement. Most of the women in our culture cannot handle Michael. I'm too much for them. And I'm not saying I'm all that. That's not what I'm saying. My passion, my intensity, where I've been, I deep down inside, I want a woman. One. Well, sometimes I feel like Mambo number 5. Little bit of Rita is all I need. A little bit of Jessica. Yeah, you know? And I've always been on the search for one, and you can't get it. And because of Hollywood and our dating culture and our Christian culture, which is American Christian culture, not biblical culture, we got it wrong. We have extremes. Everything in America is a pendulum. It's either all the way this way or all the way that way, even with Christians. You got the Sally self-righteous, and then you got the licensed, we can do whatever we want Christians. The moral absolutist who judges everything. You're dressing like a woman, and you're being an annoying irritant. And you know what I do to irritants? I get out the ant spray or the wasp spray. Be gone, pest. I do want growth. I do want to get close to God. The truth is, we have to admit sin is pleasurable for a season. I have no regrets of all the women in Asia that I made love to. Not a one. I have no regrets for trying a ladyboy. I have no regrets for trying a crossdresser. I have no regrets getting massaged by men and them giving me a happy ending. What bothers me is I offended God. Most people, even the ones watching me, will not do things for fear of what others think. I mean, those are good guardrails. But you never get to fully realize what your heart is. So you can think, because you're not doing something, that you're more righteous than somebody who is. Oh, you're not more righteous. It's there. It's in you. You want to, but you don't dare, because you're more afraid. You're not worried about what God thinks. You're more afraid of the society around you. And I've been blessed that God, in his mercy, did not treat me as my sins deserved. Women today in the Christian church are extremely petty. Solomon had 700 wives. If I was to tell most Christian women, I've probably made love to more than 30 women in my life. Oh my gosh! But you go on and on about Solomon. I love Proverbs. I love Song of Solomon. Do you know what he did? It's funny, there's a gap. And then you find a Christian woman who's never been married. She was the secretary of the church in Arvada, Colorado. Laura. I was, 49 then? She admitted that a teenage girl from the church hugged her and pressed her breast in her, and she felt aroused. I said, really? She had never been married, and she was the same as that Jenny I talked to. Same damn thing. All the women asked me, or all the men asked me out. All the men are trying to get my attention. I said, Laura, you're cute. You're single. But Mike, I don't like it. But it's going to happen. But then she's feeling aroused when another woman embraces her. Do you see what you're doing? And then something clicked. That's what a lot of women are doing. They're claiming there's no good men out there. They're beating on that drum. They tell the older women in the church, the older women say, she's such a godly woman and she can't find a decent man that's in Christ. She came after me and I didn't even come after her. There's a weird thing. When you ignore women, then they want to talk to you. I tried that at my job. We got this new young lady. She seems to be pretty good so far. Black lady, she's pretty, but she's very young, and I believe she's got a little kid. And at work, I've just seen so much of this clickiness with a certain ethnicity. And yesterday, I saw something that was just wild. So the older guy, he wasn't here Monday. And I saw him yesterday, and he's just a perpetual grouchy, cantankerous crab. And he comes walking in the warehouse, limping, so obvious. And he's walking, and making grunts and the whole 9 yards. I'm like, normally I'd ask you okay. With him, no more. I asked somebody else, I said, what's going on with him? Oh, he's got back problems. I said, he might want to hang it up because that seems to be happening more. And I even talked to the black guy in the shipping office. He said, I told him the same thing. I said, he's rude to me. And I get that. Well, that's just the way he is. I said, just say hi to everybody, but he's not nice to me. He said he has to work here for at least another year to get his retirement. I said, but he hates it. He's angry. He goes, I told him the same thing. God help us if we're in that. God help us. I'm not trying to be rude, but he's so nasty, I hope he just leaves. I'm a boundaries person. I don't get to control who and is in a workplace, but when I see somebody's being a problem, I pray that God will just sweep the trash out, take out the trash. And I'm sorry to say that. They give off an oppressiveness that I feel. It's bad enough you got to go to work with people you're not going to normally hang around. But when you got a Christian in receiving and you got him in the shop, both of them are identical, and yet they're opposites. Both of them they're not of value to the company, in my opinion. And I'm very sensitive. Most men in America don't let things bother them because they don't have passion. That's why a lot of men use women for sex and they just walk off. I think most men have no passion, no heart, no soul. There's not a person in that workplace I would be friends with, ever. I've seen so many people come and go already, and this is just 20-something of us? That's crazy. Does embracing a same-sex lifestyle going to be the final answer? Because I've heard them argue, well, heterosexual marriages fail. Of course they do. And you think because you reinvent the wheel, that's going to work? It doesn't. Let me tell you something in 60 years of my life that I've learned. We can deceive, fool, bamboozle, and lie to ourselves because we want something. But one thing I have learned that is rooted deep within the foundation of my heart. When you build on a foundation, that which is not of God, it is going to fail. It is going to blow up. It might go good for a minute. It might look good for a year. But when Vesuvius erupts, woo, you cannot reinvent the statues of God. Can't do it. I don't care what the Supreme Court says. I don't care what secular society says. I like Ernest Hemingway. He's a great author. For Whom the Bells Toll, The Old Man and the Sea, Islands in the Stream. He had a lot of good books. Hemingway was an interesting man. He lived on the Florida Keys. He had cats with 6 toes. And those cats are bred. Mariel Hemingway was his beautiful daughter. And I did not know Hemingway was into women, and he was also into men. And it's strange, but a lot of people who are deeper in their thought life tend to be like that. It wasn't out there known. Men cannot give me what I need. I mean, in a horny moment, I'm very hardwired. I'm high energy. I'm passionate. I look at most men, especially the ones I work with, they smell. They smell like a cigarette, BO, dirty. Like, what woman would do that? Yep, in Augusta, there's lots of women that go after that mess. Supervisor said, until I get you something, we can always bring the guy from. I said, please don't. Because he'll stop and talk in your office, he'll stop and talk here, he'll grab one pig ticket, then he'll go outside and smoke. And I've done 10 things, and he hasn't even done one. And I see in every place dysfunction. I have been fascinated by watching the growing rise of lesbianism in our culture. And it's not just here, it's blowing up in the Philippines and India, everywhere. Africa. Like, what's driving this? There's something about a woman's body. Most Western guys, they follow a pattern. You know, the suit and tie club. You ever been around them? They don't smell good. I noticed the heavier a man is, the sweat smells different. It's like, ugh. And women have complained to me about the man coming home from work, sweaty, stubble, and he wants to have love with her. Me, I'm a shower guy. I'm like, before I mess with a woman, I'm going to clean up. Most men are so cavemen about sex. And I've had some romps. I've had some romps to fulfill my curiosities. And you got an aggressive bisexual, as he states on his Facebook page, constantly harassing my channel. And he's not gifted with beauty. And it blows me away, the arrogance that drips from this. I mean, clearly he is a puppet of the devil. And my channel is a lightning rod because I dare to be different. And I'm being attacked by the very people that are complaining that society won't embrace them. Females, a disturbed, immature, living with mommy, will not get gainful employment. Just pure, sheer hatred for this, for God, for me. I'm better looking than he is ever. And he thinks he's a girl. And I don't care what young generation comes behind me. You're not a girl, you were born a guy, and it's time for you to get your brain cells checked. You need to make an appointment with your head. Because the neurotransmitters, you must have gotten a lightning strike to the brain and something was burned out and damaged. I have a feminine side, but I cannot be a woman. I can't move like a woman. I'm not made to move like a woman. I have a sensual side. I like to dress the way I dress because I think it's awesome. I like it. People say, why do you do this? Because I like it. If you're looking for a deeply scientific answer, 3.14 pi, the algorithm and the theorem and this, and there's nothing deep here. I like doing it. Did I enjoy a couple of times sowing my oats with a guy? Yes. At the time, it felt awesome. It felt awesome to be valued and to see a guy get aroused by me. Same sex. Women are strange to begin with. The Bible says your desire will be for your husband, yet he shall rule over you. That word desire is not all about sex. Bible scholars believe their desire to rule over. Women are always trying to get on top. And it's interesting, in any gay relationship, male or female, in a female, you have a butch and a submissive. In the gay guys, you have a dom and a sub. Proving that God made in eternity marriage between a man and a woman. Man's to be the head, woman's to be submissive. So when you decide to do it against God, the same thing applies. You're going to have a submissive man with a dominant man. You're going to have a submissive girl with a dominant woman. Most of your dominant lesbians are not attractive. And it's amazing to watch. Most of what you see out there in society is not the lipstick stuff that's on the adult material. It's two women that look like they are baseball umpires. Nobody wants to see that going at it. I've seen lipstick lesbians. But even in that relationship, there's a head and there's a submissive. Proving that God said marriage between one man and one woman. Because you are assuming the roles as if though you're one man and one woman. Somebody's going to submit, somebody's going to dominate. This troll thinks he's an alpha, living with his mother, whatever. Just the fact, I can make some deductions. For somebody to be this obsessed with me and my channel has got to have an unimaginable amount of time on his hands. Makes me think he's unemployed. His mother spoiled him. He's probably living in mommy's house. I'm praying that somebody on my channel, somebody will find his address. And I will make some calls. And I will call some law enforcement and say, what can I do? Was it Levitt, White House press secretary? She said something I agree with. Yesterday, she said the speech of the Democrats and their hatred of Trump is creating in mentally unstable people the boldness to go out and try to shoot him. That is the truth. I don't care if you don't like Trump. I don't want to hear it. When you encourage that rhetoric from high-level officials and the media, You are encouraging and condoning violent acts. And you're not going to stand guiltless before God. I'm concerned that America's headed straight towards the days of Noah, where violence filled the earth. This Andrew cat is a danger. He's a Tyler Robinson in the wings. I've never seen a man so obsessed with me. That's just gross. Because I'm going to say something about my own sexuality. And I don't speak for all men, but I think I can safely say, I think most men would agree with me on the statement I'm about to make. Masturbation is fascinating. I don't know who came up with the word. It's a silly, ridiculous word. But whatever the mood may be, a woman walks by in public with no bra. Wow, really? I dropped granola down my skimpy shirt. When I've had an orgasm's kind of like a deja vu. When I have felt extremely passionately HORNY, and it's not my first choice, after the orgasm, it's like the Heckle and Jekyll kicks in. Like, man, I'm glad I didn't hook up with that. We have weird stuff come through. You rub one out, and it's over in your mind. It's done. Troll, are you listening? I've never rubbed one out over you. You are the definition of gross. Your pictures and your affect, I can see why you have problems. You are a lost, soulless soul. 11 years of this, Andrew. You're sick. I'd love the FBI to raid your home, your bedroom, whatever. I believe they'd find a lot of sicko stuff in there. So help me God, when I find out where your address is, I'm going to be calling some legal and find out what I can do, if anything. Because this crap needs to stop. And this is why I don't like the Democrats. We saw what happened when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. They didn't have any remorse for it. They cheered TMZ, so-called professionals. Woohoo! That is chilling. That we live in a country where there are racists and people of a different political persuasion that would laugh if I was slashed into pieces. What is my crime against humanity? Believing this, doing my own expression. And they call Trump Adolf. Really? The Democrats define the word hypocrisy and always will. People say, well, Trump said this. Trump. I understand Trump doesn't have a filter, but you guys have gone on and obsessitated over him beyond rational. We got it. You don't like him. Move the F on. Your hatred. I mean, it's ridiculous. Trump's reign, as you call it, is coming to an end. Get over yourselves. You've had Obama and Billy and Biden. Give me a break. They've caused more damage than Trump ever did. And you don't see it because you're blind as bats. You couldn't even locate a mosquito. You're that blind. You cannot take. There's a term used for God called the Ancient of Days. Car companies, auto manufacturers, fast food franchises are always seeking new ways to reinvent the same old crap so that you spend your money on their crap. Society. Well, my marriage didn't work. My name's Bill. Maybe I'll marry Steve. You really think that's going to go better? It's okay to admit you have a HORN dog moment over something, but a lifestyle? The Bible says the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I love it when people play that self-righteousness. I don't care what side of the fence. Oh, I don't got no tolerance for gays. Oh, there's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with you too, clown. You may not have the same sex desire, but you got desires that fly against the holy God. So shut your pie hole. Everybody in this world is guilty of heinous stuff, or it could be. I said out loud yesterday, for a reason, to the guy in the shipping, I said that what blows me, we were talking about, I told him about that girl that stabbed her husband because he brought home chicken. She wanted to go out to eat. And when she was in the courtroom, well, it really irritated me. Oh, so la-di-da, your irritation level is the queen of heaven and you are acting like you're a deity. You didn't bring me my offering. Ah! You want to date these chicks? You want to date these girls? Do you really? Do you really want to date these chickies? Oh, did I already delete her lovely photo? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't want green screen. That one, she wasn't pretty. Some guy went gaga over her, lost his life over her. And I'm going to say it, that's what America's breeding today, like rabbits. Have you looked at these young people? They believe they're dogs and cats and got a litter box in the classroom. They believe that they're the opposite sex of what they were born. And these people get on my internet and go, bruh, what's wrong with you? WTF? What's wrong with me? They're not hearing the damn truth. What's wrong with me is they're not seeing a guy comfortable in his skin. No, I'm not gay. Have I had gay stuff? Can I tell you something? I've learned a lot about filters. Trucks and cars need them. You need oil filters. You need fuel filters. Why? Because even though you get diesel from a tanker truck that goes into a tank in the ground, there's sediment that gets in there. And the filter's supposed to grab that stuff because it can damage the engine. Did you know as a Christian you can have sinful stuff flow right through the solid stuff? Have you ever noticed, men and women, have you ever noticed you were in the Lord and you just felt like you had it going on with God, and then this thought comes in and you're like, done? Women, admit it. Did you see the pretty woman walk by without a bra and you felt, wow, that's hot? Guess what? That is normal. It's not normal to go to the Supreme Court and say, well, I want to marry her. That's going to extremes. I think it's perfectly natural for two women to be attracted to each other. And when I see the behavior of women towards men, it makes, I'm going to say something that's going to shock everybody. It makes more sense that women be lesbian than go after us because it just doesn't seem to work. Women are not making good wives. They're not making good girlfriends. There's so much drama and trauma with it that they might as well just go after each other. I'm not so convinced of that with men being gay because, you know, this gets old. This here, women can be more passionate on a deeper level with each other than men cannot. And the men's only alternative is to do backdoor broke back cowboy. And it's like, poop on a stick. Yuck. And you know something's wrong with society when the men surrounded Lot's house. Bring out those men that we may have sex with them. They weren't just flirting and skirting. They were direct. And the angels struck them with blindness. And they're reaching and banging on the door, still trying to get in. They were so horn-dogged up. They were still trying to get some. I mean, if I was struck with blindness, I'd be like, crap, I'm not doing anything today. No work, no drive. Scary. Scary. The guy in receiving that's being a jerk, and he's still being one. And I'm trying to tell myself every day, let the peace of God rule in my own heart. I watched him. It's self-evident to everybody. I even had a talk with another guy there, and he goes, Mike, when I started here, I just watch. And when you watch, you learn what this is all about. To me, this is my job, but there's too much crap going on in here. Favoritism, people getting away with stuff. Said that guy out there, he's not hired because he's a good worker. He's a snitch. I notice when management comes around, he's acting all professional, but he acts like a damn child all day back in his department. The floor's a mess. You can't get down the aisles. There's crap everywhere. And then he does things on purpose. We have a big waste pallet with a box on it. He'll throw the whole box in there. He doesn't cut them down. He expects everybody else to do his work. And if he ever gets in, he had this black girl, well, she's not back there no more. He's pissed about that. And the rumor, the discussion got out, he just wants people to be his slaves to do all his dirty work. He wants to walk around with his clipboard. And then he was sucking up to one of the owners yesterday, and it's like, man, this guy, what does he actually do in a day? Walks over here and talks to somebody. Goes and counts a couple of washers. Enters stuff in the computer. Talks for another half an hour over here. And he thinks he's better than me and superior. And I'm like, wow. And somebody had informed me. I said he left. He came in for all of 30 minutes and clocked out and left. And the guy said, yeah, his girlfriend, the girlfriend's mother kicked her out. So he's moving her into his place. I said, the girlfriend's mother, okay, he's 53. I'm assuming his girlfriend's somewhere in that range back. You're 50-some and your mom said, get out? But wait, he's a Christian. You're moving your girlfriend in. Does God want us doing that? Just ask him. Shag it up. And I said to this guy who revealed that knowledge to me, I said, what a dummy. I said, if mom kicked him out, he goes, I know. That's exactly what I thought. And this black man told me a story. He said, I was married when I was in Korea. I was in the military. We were both in the military. But he said years ago, he had a girlfriend. And she was paying $2,200 a month rent. And she had a good job. He said, well, why don't you move into my place? And I'll only charge you for the utilities. He said, my normal electric, Mike, was $120, $130. He said, she moved in and went up to $400. And she paid the first time, and then the next time she paid less, then the next time, and he said, we need to have a talk. I only charge you utilities, and now you're not paying, and my electric bill has gone up beyond. You've got to go. Ladies, I don't want you to be offended, but my observations in listening to people is you cost way more than we men do. You run the thermostat. He said she'd turn on every fan in the house, run the air conditioner down to the lowest setting where it never shuts off. I said, I've noticed that out here. They'll put their damn furnace on 78 degrees. Every power company in every state, I said heat at 68. I got my AC set between 79 and 80, and people are like, what? People don't realize something. You're not going to get any cooler when the thing's just running nonstop. When it's 100 degrees with 90% humidity and the sun is shining on the west side of this house, it's fighting too hard. This house has a slab. The slab is heated up to the yard and the ground temperature. And really, you should have cooling in your slab or heating, because the same thing in the winter, once the slab gets the ground temperature, you go into my living room, it's cold in there in the winter. And it's cold in here. And women are clueless about that stuff. Not all. Their feelings take over. So you justify a $400 a month bill for your comfort. Put on a sweater. Or dress like I do in the summer in your house. Men like that anyway. A gay relationship does not have any more guarantee than a hetero. Two crappy people bringing all their crappy baggage together, you're going to have the same crap, different day. And you have something else against you. If you are a Christian and you do that, God's blessing is not there. It will not be. I don't care what your feelings are. I don't care if life seems to be shining and working out for you. When you're living in sin, life tends to go very well. For a moment. But if you're God's child, He will not allow you to be comfortable staying in the pig pen. Warren Wiersbe said it well, the late Warren Wiersbe. A child of God will make a trip into the pig pen, but because he's a child of God, he will not stay in the pig pen. The Holy Spirit won't let you. He will not let you be comfortable with that. You cannot go against God and expect God to be pleased. God is merciful. He is. What about the high school kid? Get good grades, mom and dad think he's great, sings in the choir, supposedly a Christian, goes out one night, goes 80, and wraps the car around a phone pole and dies. Then you got these unbelievers that do that every day and nothing happens to them. You got Andrew, who haunts and stalks the channel for 11 years and nothing happens. Do not think justice delayed is justice denied. Andrew does not have a relationship with the Abba Father. He's running around on a big leash. But even him, he'll get to the end of that chain one day. And the faster he runs against it, he's going to hurt him. He's going to decapitate himself. God has a day reserved for this clown. No matter the mocking and the stalking, I'll bet you he's got semen all over his house over me. It's disgusting, the thought. I'm not even remotely liking this. That is a disturbed fool, a godless clown who desperately needs to be saved. He's a Jeffrey Dahmer. He's a Bundy. He's a Unabomber. He's a Tyler Robinson. He's all those nut jobs, a Timothy McVeigh, waiting to make the national news for some atrocious crime. You all told me last night he copyright infringed. It doesn't matter. The world system is aligning themselves with Andrew. They're not dealing with it. Most of the stuff that's happening on YouTube, a person is not getting involved. It's AI. It's algorithms. It's keywords. Most of what I learned on Facebook, I could say things in a video and not get checked. But if I write it on a Facebook post, bam, jail. And that's when it dawned on me, their system isn't up to speed to review every word on a video. That may be changing. That's why people getting on here and saying horrible things on video. You got women that get on here and men using the B word constantly, but the minute you write that on Facebook, they will jail you. I learned something. When I finally figured this out, it was enlightening. Now, I did not say COVID then. I'd say COVID-19. They'd never pick it up. Now, they were picking up, you said COVID on the video, on YouTube or Facebook. You got the little sticker underneath. Wow, I get a sticker. If you say anything about the election or Biden, a sticker. Safety measures are put in place to ensure the integrity of this election. Oh, but you had none when Donald Trump won, huh? And it's all Russian collusion. And 4 years later and billions of dollars later, you found not one smoking gun shred of evidence. I'm a Democrat. These people are stupid. And you're not allowed to talk about COVID during COVID time. You get a sticker. So stupid. Censorship all over the place. And you know our government's whacked when they said you cannot sue Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson for the after effects of these shots. Democrats came up with that, folks. Did you know that most attorneys are Democrat? Number one. Number two, did you know some of the drug companies you take for granted in the U.S. were experimenting on Auschwitz people? Did you know that I had a friend in Florida? Because of World War II, he has a job where he comes into hospitals and laboratories that are doing experimenting with drugs and things. and he has to make sure all their paperwork and everything's up to snuff. He said they created this mic to make sure that they weren't testing and abusing the rights of people. Really? So the government comes and says, we're going to make this and you can't sue. That right there is Hitlerian. What the Democrats did. And the reason the Democrats call Trump Hitler is they are projecting. They are a movie cinematic projector. It is ridiculous. Don't you dare go down the wrong pipe, you piece of granola flake. That's the truth. So help me God. Let me tell you what the Democratic Party has wrapped up in the core of their hearts. Everything that happened in Auschwitz resides in them. Everything that Kim Jong-un and Xi Jinping value resides in them. The Democrats want domination. They want dictatorial control. They want to kill people like me and you because we believe in this, because we tell the truth. The Democrats and truth do not go together. They are oxymorons. The Democrats are evil and they're in cahoots with these drug companies and telling you can't sue and mandating you will get the shots and you will do this. Very convenient that they pulled that off. You think that Fauci and Gates, all these people didn't have anything to do with what happened in Wuhan? You better believe something funky was going on. I find it interesting that happened just before a major election. How ironic is that? And I don't ride conspiracy theories, but that there leaves a giant question mark over my head. I don't sit here and call Trump Jesus Christ. Whoever's doing that ought to be ashamed of themselves. I thank God that Trump is not Jesus Christ. I don't want a God like that. I don't want a God like that. Jesus is without sin. Jesus loves me. Donald Trump doesn't. The Republicans don't. The church doesn't. The society doesn't. Nobody in my workplace does. I live in a world that doesn't care. All we care about, what gets the attention, is what people are into. If you got beauty, all the men will follow your channel. Yeah, Tamara Neely, cute black woman, 38,000 views, anything she does. It's based on her looks. Any of these women get up and speak. And you got grown men sitting at the feet of women. You got a conservative woman out there who's got all this showing. All this, the shoulders, the cleavage. I mean, come on, folks. If you're too stupid, and guess what? We need to start realizing something else. There's a lot of women that watch that too because they're sitting and they're playing their banjo, looking at it. Darn, 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 darn. Oh my gosh, she's hot. This is 2026. I took a group of kids from South Hill Bible Church in Spokane at the request of the then youth pastor to Soda Springs, Idaho, a deep, deep Mormon town in the bottom of Idaho, for a week to do a vacation Bible school at a very tiny, lonely Baptist church. People in America have no idea what it's like just in some parts of America. If you are a pastor of a little Baptist church in a Mormon community, you are not received or loved. And this little Hallmark commercial the Mormons put out, I've heard stories of the hatred and the mockery and the harassment of Mormon communities. I don't know why we think Mormons are special. They're sinners just like Muslims, Islam, Mormonism, Jehovah's Witness, Buddhists. They're all going to the same lake of fire. And we have this mystique, well, all religions are different. No, they're not. They're all going to hell. All. And a young lady on that trip, one of the students, the girls slept in the church, and they had a separate building, which was the Sunday school rooms and the kitchen and the fellowship hall. The boys slept in there. I get up in the morning, and we were given permission to use the high school. So I'd grab my stuff, my bag, and walk to the high school. There's a lady janitor in there. I'd talk to her, and I'd go hit the shower, toilet, and everything. It was awesome. She said, I got all this lost and found. Do you think your youth group wants it? I said, oh my gosh. New hoodies, ball caps, sweatshirts, pullovers. These kids weren't wearing thrift store stuff. I came back and I said, ladies, boys, the lost and found carts, the lady said, you can have your pick. There's some good stuff in there. They all went down there and they all cleaned it out. But one of the ladies would talk to me. She was fascinated with my understanding of the Bible. She was a pretty young thing, PYT. I'm standing on the walkway in front of the church at the end of the rail, and she's standing 3 feet away from me. She talked to me for a while. The youth pastor comes up that wanted me to drive the bus. Hey, Mike, I'm getting some complaints that my wife and others are noticing. I said, complaints about what? She came to me to ask me Bible questions. I'm standing here. I'm not touching. No, I'm not accusing you of anything. She's talking about the word. I said, she's asking me what the word says about things. I said, really, Andrew? What is it with these damn Andrews? I'm here, out here. I'm not in the closet or in the dark. Think about what you're saying. We went down to a lake at the Utah-Idaho border. I have to look it up. It's very shallow. You walk out almost a mile, but then it drops off. And the kids were like, Mike, help us. She wanted to be buried up to her neck in the sand. So we're all pushing sand. I'm not touching her. And Kula, what a name. Pastor's wife says, Mike, that's inappropriate. I said, what's inappropriate? I don't have my hands on her. They asked me to help bury her. It was, she wanted to be, where you could breathe and stuff. That night, they're sitting around the campfire. She's got one of the teenage girls between her legs and her hands just underneath these. I should have said, hey, pastor's wife, should you be doing, and the reason I didn't, I was afraid. I should have said, why are you holding that young woman on your lap? That is not your daughter. What were they going to do? They'd have no way back. None of them have a CDL. I should have said something. I should have said, why do you have that young woman on your lap? Her husband, the youth pastor, admitted to me I had a struggle with PORN. I look at Kula. Kula, just the name. I'm like, I don't know who named her that, but they're stupid. And you could tell by looking at her, she was a narcissistic, little spoiled brat twerp. These guys were young. They were in their 20s. And I'm going to say it. A grown woman got a teenager between her legs and her arms around her. What are you doing? And you're projecting when one of the other ladies is standing at the end of a walkway talking to me about the Bible, and then we're burying a girl. We're all of us are out there in the open pushing sand. Women in this culture are all judgmental about us, questioning everything because they are in heat with women. That's why. And they'll never admit it. They get away with it and they hide it and they mask it. And I'm sorry, my eyes have been opened. Just because you're a Christian, I've heard more Christian women tell me they're attracted to women more than men. And what they're doing now in the church is they're doing what Laura did. There's no godly men. Oh, really? You're the only godly young, pretty lady, and there's no godly men. Are you serious? Is that even scientifically possible? And they go back to the older women in the church. And then the women say, oh, Laura's so pretty and she just can't find a godly, committed man. No, but when a teenage girl's breast poking her, she's feeling deeply aroused. Do you not see what they're doing? Women are liars and they're manipulators, and they will do this and paint this picture because they're probably going home and entertaining the thought and going, ah, that moves them more than we do. It's time to realize it's 2026. They don't want us. There's a group of women in church, out of church, they don't want us. They've tasted and seen that it is good to experience another woman. There's something about a woman that when they get a touch on each other like that, it's over for us men. It's over. Watch the YouTube videos, women, if you doubt me, and men, talking about septum rings, all the tattoos. Women are doms and women are subs. And it's all over the place. And a lot of these women will flirt with us and lead us on. And then they're getting in the closet with a girlfriend. A lot of them will not come out. They're embarrassed. But when the lights are out, watch out. And I notice a direct correlation of hatred towards men while embracing that lifestyle. Huh? Do the two go together? Absolutely. We're going to call it like I sees it. But does a lesbian fling work any better than a heterosexual fling? No, it's all displeasing to God because sex outside of marriage is wrong no matter who you do it with. It's not right for a man to lie with a man as with a woman. It's not right for a woman to lie with a woman as with a man. And yet it's all over the place. It's in the church. It's out of the church. And people like me, where do I get to go? If you do find a Christian woman, you might date her for 2 months and it blows apart because there's YouTube videos saying that most American women stop growing at 15 years old up here. They can be 40, they can be a CEO, they can be a professional. They're still 15 years old. That's why most marriages crumble. It's not always all the men's fault. It's the fact that they're blatantly immature, blatantly entitled, spoiled, narcissistic, and nobody wants to deal with it. The women will say, you expect to get a girlfriend dressed like I don't expect to get a girlfriend no matter how I dress. It's 2026. They don't want a man like me. Because I'll look them in the eye and say, you're wrong. You offended me. Get out of my house. You're not the head. You don't like my management? Go away. I'm done being ruled over by chicks. Done. And I don't want a man as a husband. Yuck. Men are gross. Men cannot give me what a woman can. And a woman in America today can't give me what a woman's supposed to give me because they are not submitting to this. And that's why the adult entertainment industry is exploding. Where do men have to go? Well, you need to crucify the flesh. Oh, yeah, it's always about us men. Stop it, 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 stop it. When's the last time you've heard a preacher address this lesbian issue? These women that are caught teasing men all day, every day, leading us on, the women on my channel. Shame on all of you. I really want to get to know you. If I was there, I'd date you. Can I have your Discord? Here's my number. Poof, puff, the magic dragon gone. Women, stop playing games with Michael Nelson. I might start calling you out by name and shouting you out. You want advertising? You want attention? I'll give it to you. Stop it. If you're not interested in me, then don't show it. And if you are, put your money where your mouth is or shut it. Stop the games. Christians are not supposed to play games. I'm sick of it. I go to work. My job sucks. I'm thankful to God He gave me a job, but I don't like working for a place where I'm just getting people richer and they can't increase the pay and they're not going to increase the pay. And they have you fill out this little gay survey every week that doesn't do any good. And I've gotten to know one of the owners and I have a respect because I see that he is trying to grow in Christ and he's the one going to bat for us. So I do. Really? You're smart off to me, huh? Bottle. And I'm sick of it, dude. I live in a dumb world. And I'm supposed to praise. Sometimes it's hard. I'll tell y'all something, man. I am not perfect. And if you're coming to this channel expecting a perfect Christian, you be in the wrong house. So go away. This is called Reality 101. We don't shrink back. We talk about things. I offend men. I offend women. I offend blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians, Christians, Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, MAGA cult. I go after all of them, including myself. Did you know I offend me? Did you know I get up every day with a deep sense of awareness of how far short of the glory of God I fall? Did you know that? I mean, we're so screwed up. I get this in the mail yesterday. She's running as a commissioner for our district. The guy in here is worthless. He's a black guy. I don't want to vote in a woman, but fully accountability for every housing dollar. South Augusta. Tear down blight, restore our neighborhoods, clean water and lead pipe protection. A commissioner who shows up every time. We're so screwed up, I'd rather vote for this and give her a chance than the scumbucket man who's in there. That's the world we live in. You think I give a rat's ass about what some idiot male thinks about the way I'm dressed? Hey, douchebag, I don't care. I'm a guy. You don't like the way I dress? Stop looking at my channel, creep. You call everybody retarded, you might want to check yourself. I'm happy in my skin. I don't have to worry about struggling to get a date. I am not going to get one, so I don't have to impress anybody. It's called freedom. If a woman loves me, she's going to love me for who I am. And that's what I'm after. I'm not here to be careful. Well, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I'm sorry. That. I'm done. You're not God. I'm not going to approach you like a deity. Oh, please accept me. Oh, God, please, lady. That's what you've done to us. You've taken our wiener and sliced it off and emasculated us. No more. I like that thing between my legs. I like the way God made me. And I'm done apologizing. I'm done bowing to the deity and the priestesshood of women. Done! If you don't like my channel, get off! There's good women on here. I love you ladies. You guys are awesome. But to the women out there that don't like to hear the truth, get off my channel. You can do a psychological analysis of me all day long, and you can believe whatever you want, but you're wrong. You are wrong, and always will be. Always and every day. And while you run around labeling me, oh, he's gay, he's disturbed, you need mental help. That's why I do my channel. It's called venting, expressing, putting it out there, working through my problems. Why do I need to go to a psychologist? Well, that'll be $500. You didn't fix me. No, but you got to keep coming back and spending my, I'm working on buying that Cadillac, Michael. Come in and tell me your problems one more time. On my channel, I seek to give people answers so that they can use the tools themselves and fix themselves with God. That's what a Christian's supposed to do. And you notice y'all pay Tamara Neely, y'all pay Candace Owens, and Tamara Neely brought out something this morning interesting. Y'all pay these women to sit and have their comfy little lifestyles. All these sick little men sitting at the feet of women. They won't pay for this, but they're so in lust and so in heat because she's pretty. Oh, here, I'm going to donate. Yeah, you're paying for your porn. Okay, I get it. People don't like it when I say it like that, but that is what it is. Hey, boo-boo, gotta be smarter than the average bear. People are running around in their underwear, and I see it, and they don't. You ever notice that? Like I said, the Democrats are the greatest projectionalists in the world, calling Trump Hitler when in fact they are Hitler. When they embody Auschwitz, doing experiments on people with shots and boosters, you got to do all these things. I got a shot like a fool because I was told I wouldn't be able to go out of the country on my passport unless I had it. And 2 months later, I got COVID. And I believe it happened because I got that damn shot. And now I got tinnitus in this ear. I had vertigo. I remember when I was going through it, it took me over a month. I mean, I was walking to my bus. People were like, nobody said a word. I was like Job. The black men and women were like, did you see Mike? That COVID took something out of him. Was it manufactured in a lab in Wuhan? Was Fauci involved in that? Guy looked like a rat. That guy's evil. Evil. He conducted experiments in Haiti or Puerto Rico and was it Costa Rica or Haiti? Screwed up children. It's amazing. All these Democrat supporters always F up the kids. They're doing it now, saying it's okay to be trans. Biden, all you people that support the Democrats and hate Trump, Biden telling parents, you cannot tell your child you can't have a trans surgery. Want to bet, Biden? Not 18. Not my responsibility. My job is to be a parent. You want to be gay? You want to be a unicorn and wear rainbows on your butt cheeks and tattoo one on the end of your foreskin? Do it on your time, out of my house, on your job, in your own apartment. Since when was it the government's job, the Democratic Party, to tell the parents they don't have the right to be parents anymore? Since when did the Democrats come along and say you can't paddle your children anymore? Oh, it's abuse. It's called discipline. And that's why these kids are fruit up across this land. Rude, entitled little princesses sitting in their room on TikTok, Facebook Reels, and YouTube. Oh, and I get on here as an adult and dance and have fun. There's something wrong with you. Those same people are looking at underage girls going, you know it. Shut your mouth. This country's full of sin. And these Christians get on here with their self-righteous crap. You know, Rip the Roofer. This is ridiculous. But you keep coming back to make a comment. Why? Are you having a Jekyll and Hyde moment? Do you go get on the toilet and think about me and go, pfft, and then, that's wrong, that's so wrong, there's something wrong with this guy. But I'll keep watching him and keep leaving comments. I love doing this. My channel has become proof. They're looking at me thinking I'm nuts. The joke's on them. I do what I do for a reason. I do what I do to poke the bear. I do what I do to prove a point. You're all about suits and ties. Go to Tamara Neely's channel. a modest dressed woman, 38,000 people. Why is everybody eating out of her hand? Is she saying anything different? She's going on and on about Candace now. She's obsessed with Candace. Everybody's obsessed with Candace. And she said that her husband was arrested in 2023 for drunk driving and wrecking vehicles. I already said this. I didn't know about that. Candace doesn't ever talk about her husband. Tells me there's problems in paradise. That's why she's fixated on Erica and judging the hell out of her. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm going to say it again. I don't care what my coworkers think of me. What if the guy in receiving heard you talking about him? The guy in receiving heard me talking about him. And I put myself out there. I got fired from a job for telling the truth. And it had nothing to do with that place. But you had a woman, a superintendent, that won a virtue signal. That should be illegal. It isn't. It isn't. Because the attorneys are Democrats, the school system's Democrats, and I offended somebody. You're done. That's it. Doesn't matter. My work ethic was stellar more than most people who work there. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Let that sink in. You think you have rights as a Christian in this country? Again, I submit to you. Why is that crappy video channel Monster East not taken down? Because Google doesn't care about us. They only care about the Auschwitz, and the ethnic cleansing agenda. And who are they ethnically trying to cleanse? Whites. They're against Caucasians, they're against conservatives, they're against God-fearing people. They're against anything that makes rational sense and has its origins in Jesus Christ. Not good, folks. Not good. Really? I can't get 100 likes? Are you serious? This is original, man. This is hitting on all 8 cylinders. And watch this. No script. The news is a joke. The same woman, the same men acting and faking it, acting. Read the words on the screen. That's right, Marty. Let's talk about that weather. Oh, fakey. My fakey heart. It's going to blow apart. If I listen to Michael Nelson's channel, it's too real for me. No, most women in America couldn't handle me. They'd want me dead. I am a dinosaur. And I'm getting near extinction too because I'm 60. Will I make it to 80? Will I make it to tomorrow? God only knows. I don't want to die an ugly death, but sad thing is I don't get to choose. God's sovereign, I'm not. I pray that I get to go up in the rapture, but how many people prayed that? That didn't happen. Who am I that I should think I should get that privilege? I can only hope. I am just a man that through all the circumstances and bends in the roads I've been through, am what I am. I'm not perfect. I don't profess to be. I'm a Christian, and I haven't been perfect at that. But I'm real. I'm authentic, and I make no apologies, and I'm not ashamed of that. I'm ashamed when I disappoint God. I'm ashamed when I disappoint somebody I care about. But I'm not ashamed to tell the truth, and never in the Bible, ever, anywhere have I got anything that says I should be ashamed to be genuine. Go to most churches today, they're fake. They're reflective of the silly culture in which we live. People are having a come to Jesus moment. You can rewrite the rules all you want. Your rules will be in the trash bucket one day. We had a pastor come into the lunch yesterday. He went to Romania. The Hungarians looked down on the Romanians, and they all looked down on the Gypsies. And he had an event to bring all these Christians from these three separate regions together. Because he was talking about unity in Christ. Says everybody here in this room, everything that you own, everything you work for will not be here in 100 years. None of you in this room will be here 100 years from now. I worked hard on this house since 1953. This will not be here in 2036. No, 2126. Got to get that straight. It won't be here. I won't be here. Will there be anything left of what I've talked about even floating around? Will YouTube even be here? I'll bet you that in 100 years from now, YouTube, Facebook, it'll be gone. Do we ever think about that? We get so caught up, we think this is just going to go on. No, not so. Do you know what it means to have joy in the journey? Life is hard. Bible says if a man will not work, he shall not eat. Well, guess what? If you're a Democrat, you can sit on your butt in the projects, buy a Crown Vic, spend more for the rims and the stereo than the car, smoke pot, get EBT cards, get all the assistance. So is the Bible wrong? A lot of Democrats that don't work are eating. How about all these leeches and sponges called adult kids living on mommy and daddy's income? It ain't right. You know, the Bible says the earth groans and travail as a woman with child. The more sin we drip all over it, the earth is going, ah! It's convulsing. Have you noticed? Have you paid attention to the size of these earthquakes? In our lifetime, a 9.0, 2004, the Boxing Day tsunami that hit Indonesia and Thailand and Phi Phi Island. How about 2011, Japan, the 9.0? Then let me give you some contrast. If you had a 9.0 right under New York City, there will not be Good Morning America again. Manhattan is on bedrock. But if you had a 9.0 right under Manhattan Island, imagine skyscrapers doing the bends before they hit the street. LA. And the Bible talks about an earthquake coming in Revelation so great that the cities of the nations fell. And people laugh. The mockers, the people, oh, I don't believe in that. That's cool. That's cool. You get to live life. Life goes well. You don't have to worry about it until you die. That one last time and you go, then you're done. Where are you going to go? Back to the dirt? You're going to go in grandma's garden and be the soil for her tulips? You're going to wish that that's all. Now you got a soul that lives forever. You lived it up. You laughed it up. You mocked at me. You mocked at preachers. Mocked at the word. Have fun reaping what you sow, baby. I'm hot-blooded, chicken and sea. I got a fever in hell for all eternity. People don't want to talk about hell. I thank God that He saved me. As a Christian, I struggle with my own flesh. I look at lesbians on the internet. They make it look so beautiful, so artful. Two women leaning against each other naked with their nipples standing taut. It's beautiful. It's erotic art. And why does it arouse me so much? Because we have a sin nature. Because those women that you see that are with each other, they're not going to date me. So I live vicariously through that. Women are very passionate to each other. There is something that can be learned about that. But it's broken because it's not God's mandate. It's not God's prescription. It's not ordained or authorized by God. And these kids, Femia is saying, I'm a girl. No, you're not. You're a disturbed little boy that didn't grow up and get out of mommy's house and go to work. You should not be eating. But instead, you create a channel of hatred and denigrating everybody, and people donate to that. Because guess what? In America in 2026, they call it good evil and evil good, and that's why this stuff's happening. That's why Andrew flourishes like flies on fresh poo. That's why this stuff isn't going away. The curtain is descending on the world. The stage is being set for the judgment of God. And the most arrogant people running around in the world today don't see it. Because the God of this world has blinded their eyes. I have concerns. What if something happens to me? Who's going to take care of me? My mind at night sometimes. I don't have a woman. I don't have family. And I could see God sitting up there going, excuse me, who's going to take care of you? I imagine God with a black voice. For real, man? I sent my son to die for you, and you saying, who's going to take care? I am the Lord. Why is it I've been walking with Christ so long and I doubt? Why? Because the world makes you doubt. You go to your job, you don't see bad people get punished. You see supervisors are friendly to some and are harder to others. Why? Because we're human. Because people suck. Because we're sinners. Why does a bad Christian get to act like a jerk and work very little all day? He'll go to his girlfriend, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, please. Why does he get a girlfriend? How does a guy like that get a girlfriend? I see him at work. Nobody likes him except, I don't know what. How does that happen? I don't understand it. The mystery of lawlessness. I work my butt off. Management doesn't come up and, they'll say hello. How are you? They don't come up, Mike, I really like your work. I'm like, Mike, how'd you like to be in management? They're never going to do that to me. No. Most of you all have props. Husbands make more money than I do. You got family, I don't have nothing but God. I like that when the Bible says that. But God, and he's not a but God. But God. Whenever you see but God, pay attention. All this crap that's going on is looking pretty dismal. But God should be like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, here comes Kool-Aid. But God. Michael had no family. He had nobody to care for him. But God. I will never leave you nor forsake you. All the Father given me will come to me. No man, including me, will pluck them, including me, out of my hand, including me. I will never leave you nor forsake you. What is it going to take for you to believe that, Michael? There's a lot of women that grow up with these men that, they're the little trophy mousy girl that they chased after, and she got the easy street with all of his income. Well, I don't have any problems. God is good to me. Of course, you got privilege. And it's not that God's good to you. It's that you got a husband who's spoiling the piss out of you. And making you one of those immature, flaky, super Christians. How's Mr. Mark today? You remind me of those damn punching bags that have the weight in the bottom. Where you just want to go, poof. You're stupid. You're stupid. You're dumb. You don't know what struggle is. And you're going to try to coach me in Christendom. That's cute. That's like a dandelion telling the thistle how not to behave like a weed. You are a weed. No, I'm not. I'm a flower. Yeah, until it goes poof, and you blow on it, poof, and you grow more of your sorry self. You notice that? When are we going to realize, I just discovered this right now. Ooh, an epiphany. I'm having an epiphany in my house. If any of my neighbors can hear me, they're probably going, what in the world is he yelling? He lives by himself. That guy's a lunatic. Good. Let them think I'm a lunatic. They'll leave me alone. When David was being chased, he foamed at the mouth and they ran. Carry yourself in such a way that when danger comes to your door, you go, oh, shh, we're out of here. Woo! That guy's nuts. Get away from him. He might have cooties. Where are the likes? 16 likes, please. 16, come on. Do it. I got to go to work. I got to pay my contribution to manhood society and go to work. Watch this. You ever notice you don't have to do a damn thing to make weeds grow? You got to put fertilizer and weed killer and all these things in your lawn. You go to work, weeds. You go to church, weeds. You get out there in your car, weeds, driving cars. Weeds come onto my channel all the time. WTF, WTF. Oh, you're a dandelion, you're a thistle. What do you mean, you're a weed? WTF, is that all you got to say? How about the guy yesterday that left this comment? My video where I'm cutting loose. I don't know what has happened to men in our society, but you're a bunch of sorry ASS clowns. I get up here and, what is love? Why can't I express? Oh, you think that's gay? You think it's gay because I like my body at 60? I'm feeling sexy at 60? So when you're 16, you got a big old gut, you got all this white hair down your face and chest. I'm sorry, you can't get up and enjoy yourself. That's not my problem, honey bunches of oats. And you're not my type and I'm not yours. Stop reading into this. You're the one that's got the problem, not me. If I want to wear a skinny top and wear a necklace around my neck and create my own style and dance because I'm liberated by God, you do well to leave it alone. You follow me? I'm sorry you can't do it. That's on you, not me. But watch this. Guy writes under that video, Hathaway, what is love? My short. With profanity. With the SHIT word. You need to stop doing this, SHIT. Kids see this. Yeah, they just saw you leaving a cuss word, dum-dum. So, I'm not standing here playing with myself. I'm dancing. Tell me what is wrong with this. Didn't the movie Footloose show an entire self-righteous town that dancing was okay? I guess you didn't see the movie, huh? Everybody cut loose, a foot loose, kick off the Sunday blues. Did you know that Sunday is my most depressing day? Do you know why? Because the church isn't on fire anymore. So I come into my house and I feel a little bit of, did you see David? You grown men, what would you say to David if you came up and saw him dancing naked before God? WTF? WTF? Stupid people say stupid things on my channel. They're the ones running around in their panties, not me. And I love being me because I was born and I went through stuff and God made a unique, non-cookie cutter man out of me. Go ahead and tell me I'm not a man. Go ahead and tell me all your little childish projections and insults and talk about my looks and this and that. You're full of it. I've been beaten down all my life. Not going to be beat down by 2026 pissants on the internet. I'm a seasoned warrior here. We're used to this. Andrew made death threats, posted my house, posted addresses. He's an idiot. He doesn't post his house and address because he's a coward. Whoa, I just about sprayed all over my screen. Adults. Kids are not supposed to have an account. They're a certain age, and if they're lying about their age, that's not my problem. This isn't an OnlyFans. I'm not taking off my clothes. If some underage kid gets on and sees me dancing like this, and the sin that I've committed is, but hold on now, clowns and asshats. Grab your senses if you have any. Have you gotten on any Cardi B video and said, there's kids watching you? Did you do that, you self-righteous, arrogant hypocrites? Did you do that with Nicki Minaj and Snoop Dogg and all these other rapper crappers and their foul F-word, N-word music and singing about their wet A-S-S-P-U-S-S-Y? Did you get on there with all your scripture? No, you did not. Shut your faces. When I see society come after these people and these stars and these celebs and hold them accountable, and I see God doing a move, then maybe I'll listen to you. Till then, I'm going to do what Michael does best, being me. If that's too much for you, honey bunches of oats, get off my channel. You watch movies where actors portray a deranged person. Well, they dress up as women and you laugh. And you paid money to go see it. And you same morons come to my channel and go, oh my God, what's wrong with him? Proof. Society's good with acting. How's Mr. Mike doing today? Are you doing well? I'm here. I love this one. I see it at church. Good morning, Mr. Mike. How you doing? Oh, she left. Have you noticed that? Our society asks you a question as they're walking away. They don't want an answer at all. People are scripted. They're actors and actresses. Choir director and his wife, actress. We talk about teenagers. Oh, they're in the church and they're so... They don't say hi. They don't say good morning. They don't say excuse me. And when they ask everybody to come down and say, greet people, the one teenage girl who's... They're all stuck up. She'll come out and she'll put her hand out like this. She doesn't say good morning. She'll just... And I'm being polite and I'll shake it. I mean, really? Is this what church is producing? And the adults? Well, got my planets, gotta have a hip replacement, and then to talk to me in a patronizing child director speech voice. Hey, bud, did you know I'm 60? You're only 5 years older than me, and you're falling apart. And you're talking to me like I'm a little kid, and I go to a warehouse all day slinging stuff. Huh. I hate the way I'm treated in American culture. But conversely, I tell people stop praising me on my channel. Because out there in real life, I'm a nothing burger. If God is doing anything through this channel, take it to Him, not me. I'm going to go against the flow of what has happened in this culture. Michael is not an icon. Michael is not a hero. Michael is not a legend. Michael is uniquely made the way God wanted me to be, and He's dealing with my flaws, and He's trying to transform me to become conformed to the image of Christ. And I got news for you. When we stand before people of God, no one's going to be doing, how's Mr. Mike today? I'm doing well. That'll be the most genuine, non-superficial conversation you will ever have is up there. I'm already ready for it. It won't be so foreign to me. A lot of you, you're going to get up there and be shocked. Wow, nobody's fake anymore. Yeah, you got that right. It's heaven. No need to put up the drawbridge and the castle moat. That's what people do by doing that. We don't have a welcome sign on most Americans. We have the drawbridge in a fully raised up position. And that's the way people act. They ask you a question and they walk away before you even answer it. Because they don't want to hear the answer. They only want to hear, I'm doing well, just like you. Well, that's good. Wow, I'm doing well. Wow. Stupid. Hey, why don't you get some magic rocks and some sea monkeys, and then they can all have fun together. Crazy, dumb world. I don't live in that world. I live in it, but it's foreign to me. I don't go, there's only one guy that says, well, actually one of the owners says, every time I'm doing well. The guy in the freight office, I'm doing well. You go to the bank, I'm doing well. How come everybody's doing well but me? Because you're going to heaven, that's why. I don't know where they're going, but I think they missed the bus. God did not call me to be a corporate professional. He called me to be Michael Nelson. I used to think when I got saved, I wanted to be the next Billy Graham. How about if I just try to be the one and only Michael Nelson? I tell people, stop copying me. God does not want a mimeograph. Paul even said it. One says, I follow Paul. One says, I follow Apollos. And Paul says, what do we? Follow Christ. Gotta go. It's been fun. I hope everybody had fun with this. Didn't get up to 100 likes, but 94 is pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't have a pair of boobies, and if I did and I was a woman, I'd have 38,000 likes and hearts and people making offers to marry me. But because I'm a man in a tube top, yeah, you're not going to get all that. Did you know that's the reality of the internet? A woman's going to automatically get all likes because the look factor by men and women. It's a fact. It's a fact. And there's a false sense out there. Oh, look at all the views she's got. They're looking at her because they can sit there in their underwear and touch themselves, people. That's basic. You're going to sit there and tell me that these people are greater than me and everybody else? No, they're not. It's a girl. She's got boobies. She's got shapes, and people are fascinated by that. And that gives them an unfair advantage on any forum. And that's why women in our culture are extremely immature. He thinks he can get a date with me. Oh, that sorry guy. I never thought I could get a date with you. I wouldn't date you because your attitude is poo-poo. I'm getting tired of people saying, make America great again. It hasn't been great since I came into the world. When was it? We had slavery. That wasn't good. We had the civil rights. That wasn't good. We had the 60s hippies, the young people throwing off the shackles of morality and restraint and grabbing drugs and illicit sex, and girls throwing away their razors and their bras. And you look at those women today. They're real pretty, aren't they? White hair under their arms and boobies that sag all the way down here. Oh, baby, how'd that Woodstock work out for you? Woohoo! Let's tell the truth, people. You show these beautiful women smoking a cigarette. Anybody remember the 70s? They had it in our classroom. Kiss me, I smoke. And it showed a woman with more cracks in her face like a road atlas. That's it. Gotta go. It's been fun. Y'all have a good day. 102 likes. I love you all. Thank you for taking the time to watch my channel. You might think I'm strange. You might think I'm deranged. You're absolutely right. But you're worse. You're a sinner and you haven't been saved. And if you've been saved and you're judging me, go back and read your Bible again. And you're still judging me, go back and read it one more time. And if you still judge me, read it again. Go back into Levitical law and see how many of those things you've kept and followed perfectly and meticulously. And if you think you have, read it one more time. I've been saved by grace, not by you, not by your standard, not by your opinion of me. I don't stand before you on that great day. I stand before the Almighty God. Half these churches in America need to shut down, and the pastors need to get a working, honest job. Clowns in the pulpit teaching lies. Sunday morning is the most fakest day of the week, the most segregated day of the week. Black church, white church, maybe one or two over in each other. Sad. We're not doing anything in this country. I'm doing more with my channel than most churches are on Sunday morning. I'm going to say it. New Year's Day, I don't know why, but 75,000 people watched my live. How many of them now? That's not fair. There were 75,000 at least came on and watched. How many of them stayed? I don't know. How many of them were like, oh yeah. A lot of subs that day. You got churches with arrogance in the pulpit and they don't even have 100 people listening to them on Sunday morning. So God's given me a form and I pray that He uses it and gets people into the Word and gets people into the truth and gets people to remove their shackles. I still got them. We all do. I love that show, Unshackled. Bob was running his own life. He did drugs. He went to the Orient. He chased women until he became unshackled. My name is Bob. I hitched a ride with an 18-wheeler and went to Albany, trying to find myself. Trucker said, hey, I get some good drugs, man. All right, man, let me try them, man. That was a great radio program. They still exist in Chicago. I don't think they are what they used to be, but they were awesome in the day. I love soul winning. I like reaching people for Christ, and I like being real, and I like being free. I don't know why God has me trapped and confined in a warehouse job in a dead horse town. That's what bothers me. Maybe it's for the only reason that's what drove me to get on here. We don't get to realize our dreams, do we, people? Because they're our dreams. And we forget we become a Christian, we're under the authority and sovereignty of the Most High. Sometimes He takes us where we wouldn't go on our own volition. Thank you for listening. Have an awesome day.